So last night, the Fever got another big win. They defeated the Las Vegas Aces for the first time since 2019. And the only player to show up, well, the only players to show up for the Las Vegas Aces was A'ja Wilson.
The Fever just took down the defending champs, but no one's even talking about the game itself. Why? Because A'ja Wilson is getting roasted online for what fans are calling the special whistle. Is the league rigging games to protect its stars? Or are we just watching blatant favoritism play out in real time?
Now, ain't she over her back, bro? Ain't her arm clearly over her back? Clearly, bro. Clearly.
It looks like over the
back.
Oh, boy. Jump ball is the call.
At what point?
Wow. Stephanie White's upset about that. Wow.
Look at this. Look at this. Would you look at this?
That's a jump ball.
Now, I believe this might be the call that Stephanie White got that technical on.
The only player that I could see that truly got a special whistle is A'ja Wilson. My God.
Last night should have been all about celebration. The Indiana Fever finally beat the Las Vegas Aces, something they hadn't done since 2019. That's a long time coming. No Caitlin Clark on the floor, and still, the team pulled off a gritty statement win. Huge moment, right? But let's be real. The game itself isn't what everyone's talking about today. Instead, all eyes are on A'ja Wilson and the free throw parade she rode all night long. She finished with 29 points. Solid stat line, no question. But here's what's wild. 13 of those points came from the stripe. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston, who was battling the trenches every bit as hard, went to the line exactly twice. Let that sink in. A'ja got 13 free throws. Aaliyah, 2. How does that even make sense? Were we all watching the same game? Or did the refs decide who they want to see shine before tip-off? Is this basketball or theater? You've heard the phrase special whistle tossed around before. It used to be a joke, a little jab at how some stars always seem to get a friendly call, or two. But last night, it wasn't a joke. It was blatant. Fans aren't just upset, they're coming with receipts. Twitter lit up with videos, memes, and frame-by-frame breakdowns of every questionable foul that handed A'ja a free trip to the line. There's even a viral fan-made logo that swaps out her initials for a referee's whistle. And here's the craziest part. It's starting to feel normal. Like we're just supposed to accept that she'll shoot double-digit free throws every game. That she'll always get the benefit of the doubt. So let me ask you, if this were the NBA and a player was getting this kind of treatment night after night, wouldn't everyone be screaming for an investigation? Is the league trying to build its star? Or protecting her so much as destroying the credibility of the game? And where does that leave the rest of the players who have to work twice as hard just to get a single call? Let's be honest. The Aces didn't show up last night. Outside of A'ja, that squad looked completely out of sync. Kelsey Plum, missing in action. Jackie Young, ice cold. They looked like they forgot there was even a game scheduled. And yet somehow A'ja still walks away with 29 points, like it was another MVP clinic. How? Because she had a pipeline straight to the free throw line. The rest of her teammates combined for fewer than 10 foul shots. That tells you everything you need to know. It wasn't dominance. It was favoritism. And here's the wildest part. If you're a young hooper watching that game, what lesson are you learning? That grinding in the paint earns you nothing. But a little flailing, if you're wearing the right jersey, gets you all the calls. What message is the league sending with that? Now, let's switch gears and talk about the person who should be holding the reins. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. I don't know if she even watched last night's game, or she's too busy planning another PR tour. But her silence is louder than anything. This isn't the first time officiating has been called out. It's not even the fifth. Yet every time, Engelbert steps up to the podium, smiles like everything's sunshine and rainbows, and insists the officiating is fine. Fine. Refs missing calls left and right, handing free points to certain players while ignoring obvious hacks on others. And that's fine. Where's the accountability? The league says it wants to grow, that it wants to stand shoulder to shoulder with the NBA. But how can it ever reach that level when the person at the top refuses to acknowledge what fans and players are seeing with their own eyes? Real talk. If Adam Silver watched his refs turn in performance like that, do you think he'd be cool with it? So, Kathy Engelbert, we're waiting. And here's the uncomfortable question nobody in the league office wants to hear. What if the refs are influencing the betting lines? Yeah, I said it. Look, sports betting is a massive part of the modern game. Fans are putting money on everything. Total points, rebounds, assists, and yes, exactly how many points a player like Aya Wilson will rack up. So when she suddenly gets 13 free throws on a night her team looks flat out lost, you have to wonder, were those calls just bad judgment or something else entirely? Are refs placing bets or tipping off people who are? And before you roll your eyes, remember, Tim Donaghy was real. The NBA has already faced this nightmare. What makes anyone think the WNBA is somehow immune? If this doesn't get looked into, the league's entire credibility could be on the line, literally. And let's be honest, if there's one player who has every right to be furious today, it's Aaliyah Boston. She fought for every inch in the paint. She played with heart. She took it all game long. And what did she get for it? 2 trips to the line. 2. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson barely gets grazed, and she's strolling to stripe like she's got a frequent flyer card. Let's be clear, Aaliyah Boston is one of the best bigs in the WNBA. She's putting up numbers, leading a young team, and doing it without a single favor from the officials. So why isn't she in the MVP conversation? Because the numbers are skewed. If Boston got the same whistle Aya did, we'd be talking about a different face of the league right now. This isn't just about calls. It's about respect. And right now, the league is showing her none. So, who's going to speak up for Aaliyah Boston? I hate to say it, but last night felt like a scripted drama. The crowd's locked in. The teams are battling. And then whistle. Whistle. Another whistle. And somehow, it always goes the same direction. It kills the rhythm. It kills the vibe. And worst of all, it kills trust. Basketball is supposed to be a game of flow, of back-and-forth energy. But when refs inject themselves over and over, especially with soft calls that only benefit one player, it stops feeling real. And that's the worst thing any league can be called. Fake. The WNBA is fighting for its identity right now. It wants fans to believe this game is authentic, raw, competitive. But if people start thinking the outcome is decided before tip-off, that fight is already over. You can't fool fans anymore. They're not just watching games. They're breaking them down in slow motion, sharing clips, tracking foul counts and free throw discrepancies. And last night, they made themselves heard loud and clear. Aya Wilson MVP? More like most valuable protected. Boston gets clobbered. Refs say play on. Aya get a breeze across her jersey. It's a flagrant. This isn't casual banter. This is a movement. Fans are demanding fairness, transparency, and accountability. And if the WNBA doesn't listen, those same fans will walk away. And good luck building a brand when your most loyal supporters are gone. Let's clear something up before the comment section goes crazy. This isn't about hating on Aya Wilson. Nobody is saying she isn't a generational talent. She absolutely is. Her footwork, her defense, her leadership, it's all legit. She's a 2-time MVP because she's earned it. But here's the thing. When it starts looking like the league is padding her stats, when she gets more calls in one game than most players see in a week, and when other stars just as physical, just as skilled get ignored, that's not excellence. That's favoritism. This isn't about tearing Aya down. It's about lifting the league up. Because real fans want fairness. We want every player, from established vets to rising rookies, to have the same shot at greatness. We want games decided by who played better, not who got the most whistles. We want Aaliyah Boston to get the same respect in the paint as Aya Wilson. We want balance, not bias. And most of all, we want to believe what we're watching is real basketball. Competitive, authentic, not some pre-scripted performance. So here we are. The Indiana Fever just pulled off a historic win, but instead of celebrating, we're talking about officiating, favoritism, and conspiracies. That's not a good look. If the WNBA wants to protect its image, it needs to act. fast. Clean up the officiating. Hold referees accountable. Treat all-stars equally. And for the love of the game, stop handing out MVP votes at the free throw line. This league has the talent. It has the fans. It finally has the spotlight. But if it keeps letting the special whistle define games, that spotlight is going to fade. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did Aya Wilson get a rigged whistle last night? Is Kathy Engelbert ignoring the problem? And is Aaliyah Boston the real MVP? Smash that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.